Hello and welcome to Super Soul Skills. My name is Avian Doyle and I thought I would share with you some really good reads, some good books that I think you may enjoy if you're interested in spirituality and law of attraction and self-development and expansion of consciousness. Some of these books might just hit the spot for you. So let's get comfortable here. I'm always recommending this book because it's actually a rare find. I'm not sure if they're even still in print. I recommended several years ago when I was reading it, I was recommending it to friends and clients and things like that. And a lot of people got back to me and said that they had a hard time tracking it down. I do remember I had to ask the bookshop at the time, this is going back like 16 years or something, to get this for me. It's called the Magdalene Manuscript, The Alchemies of Horus and the Sex Magic of Isis. It's by Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion. And it's a personal story of Mary Magdalene, channeled by Tom Kenyon. And then there's the second part of the book. The last part of the book is by Judy Sion, and she calls it One Woman's Story. And she was told, whoops, sorry, I'm on the bed here, so it's a bit bouncy. She was advised to share her story because it was important. Mary Magdalene said it was important that she shared her story with the world. And it's just, I found this book so enriching. Like you can see, I have little notes taken and things like that at the time because there's just an awful lot of it was confirming my own hunches and intuitive understandings of energy during sex and lovemaking and soulmate connection, falling in love, and that partnership between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But I just think it's a beautiful book about life and about, they call it the Ka body, which is the aura, and about the chakras and meditation and spirituality in general. So whether you're indulging in sex alchemy or tantra, it's really not even, it's about life, and it's about Mary Magdalene and her voice and her story and her having the chance to express her truth, which has been so twisted. So I really, really recommend this book. Another book, and I've been saying this recently to certain clients, to certain people, because Spirit seems to recommend this book a lot. So then I wanted to get it because they kept saying it for my clients, and I thought I have to read this book. It Didn't Start With You: How Inherited Family Trauma Shapes Who We Are and How to End the Cycle, by Mark Woolen. Okay. So this book is, I believe it's groundbreaking. It's about ancestral healing. It's about going back into the roots of our parents, our grandparents, our grandparents' parents, and basically understanding that our genes don't just pass down the colour of our eyes and all that kind of stuff. Our DNA carries our psyche, our trauma, our soul story. So you're not just inheriting the traits of your colouring, your mother's dimples, your father's temper. You're actually inheriting so much more of a bigger picture of energy, of DNA. And so the so-called junk DNA, which is not junk at all, it's actually where there's incredible potent power in that so-called junk DNA, that space of consciousness that's in our DNA. An awful lot has passed through that we are only beginning to understand. And Mark Woolen does a brilliant job. I as you can see again, I've taken notes. I've practiced the rituals, the There's certain exercises and techniques that he gets you to do, and I saw amazing results from doing ancestral healing work. Amazing. So if that's something you're interested in, I highly recommend this book. It's really not that big, like you'll get through it very, very quickly. It's fantastic. Now, the other side of that, this is a big book. Okay. Reality Transurfing. Quite, I think, sensationalized and well known at this stage. It's by Vadim Zeland. Okay, it's steps. Yeah, it's the Transurfing steps. It says Transurfing is a powerful technology of managing reality. Apply it and life will begin to change under your order. The goal during using Transurfing doesn't reach. Okay, that's not very, that doesn't make sense, but that's what it says. I'm just reading what it says here. Yeah, that's actually a criticism of this book. There was a lot of typos. Okay, now originally this was written in Russian. Vadim is from Russia, as far as I know, and it's been translated. So the reviews of this book before I bought it was, people said it's very badly translated. There are parts of it that you're like, that's not right. That's not translated properly. Like that part at the back there, that does not make good English, good grammatical sense. But anyway, I like the ideas in this book. It's very much law of attraction, but it's a different angle on it. It's a different perspective on it. It still blends with my tried and tested views or understandings of the universal laws, but it's always nice to get a new angle, a new perspective, and to try a different route to the same outcome. So that's why I actually bought this during lockdown, because I figured I'm here locked down in this place by the sea. I need a really, really big meaty book to sink my teeth into. And that's what I did. So there, you know, it can be quite heavy at times. It can be quite dense, but there are newer books recently released that are more practical. They're kind of condensed versions of this main big manual. One of them being Tufti, the Priestess. It's a much smaller book. I have that book as well. And it kind of breaks down the principles in a much more practical, pragmatic way, so you can use it in your daily life. Okay, but I still like randomly opening this and reviewing the principles and the ideas, just to kind of get juices from my brain, from my mind, with the complexity of the laws of the universe. Okay, Who You Were Meant to Be. I really loved it. I just came across this book and I just loved it. It's by Lindsay C. Gibson. A Guide to Finding or Recovering Your Life's Purpose. And she's saying, are you happy with your life? Are you doing what you want to do? Do you wish you had more control in your life choices? Do you ever feel like there is a blocking force within you that undermines your progress? What is holding you back? Your family, your work, your relationships, or yourself? It's just a lovely book. It's from a very psychological perspective, but it's also very holistic. I feel like I'm not sure if she's a psychiatrist or psychologist, but it's that very psychological overview, but also woven in is a lot of holistic approaches, like meditations, and just a very general good grounding in connecting you back to who you were meant to be. So I really love this book. Again, it's something you'll pick up time and time again. If I'm going on the train, long distance or something, I will just enjoy flicking through this. I got a lot of benefit out of it, and I bought that book at a time where I felt very disconnected, very low, and I found it gave me comfort. So it was like having a warm, fuzzy friend who would remind me to get back connected in alignment with myself. Then we have Paulo Coelho, of course, the author of The Alchemist, right? I mean, most of us have read The Alchemist a million times. It's such a great book. This is the Manual of the Warrior of Light, okay? And it's an invitation to each of us to live our dream, to embrace the uncertainty of life, and to rise to meet our own unique destiny. And it's one of those books, right? It's, you just open it. So if you're someone who doesn't like big, thick books and you're not really good at finishing books, or you don't want to have to go through lots of reading, just every day you can just open it on a page like that. It says, the warrior of light has the sword in his hands. The warrior of light has the sword in his hands. He is the one who decides what he will do and what he will never do. There are moments when life leads him into a crisis. He is separated from things he's always loved. It is then that the warrior reflects. He checks that he is fulfilling God's will, or if he is merely acting selfishly. In this separation, if this separation is really part of his path, then he accepts it without complaint. If, however, such a separation was provoked by someone else's perverse actions, then he is implacable in his response. The warrior possesses both force and forgiveness. He can use both with equal skill. So there's lots of little hidden gems and nuggets of wisdom and guidance, and like this one, warriors of light often ask themselves, what are they doing here? Often they find their lives meaningless. And then he'll go deeper into this little proverb or this little piece here. So through COVID, when I couldn't see my clients, in the lads I work with in Kumai Lodge who are recovering from drug addiction, I did podcasts where we would take an excerpt and I would read it and then we discuss it. So it's really, really great for that. You can take a piece and you can say whether, because I don't agree with everything in the book, but again, it's just food for thought. It's food for your soul. And I think that's really important, that we constantly feed food for thought in our consciousness. Yeah, and then I wasn't even going to bring this book in, but it's actually right here on the bed because I'm reading it myself. I'm not finished reading it. I've only kind of got into it, but I may as well throw it into the mix. Our own Irish Michael Harding. I've read lots of his other books. I haven't read this one. This one's called Chest Pain, A Man, a Stent and a Camper Van. And I just love Michael Harding. I'm not sure if you have to be Irish to appreciate his writing and his view of the world. I don't think you would have to be. He writes a lot of brilliant memoirs. The new memoir from the acclaimed author of Staring at Lakes and Talking to Strangers. It's like he takes the ordinary everyday and is able to express it in the most sublime spiritual beauty. That's the only way I can describe it. It's also very funny. There's a lot of funny moments in it, but his transparency, his honesty, his courage. This is a very, very spiritual man. And this is a man who's walked the spiritual path all his life. He actually was about to be a priest. He was in training to be a priest when he changed his mind. He ended up getting married. And I just think he's brilliant. And he always helps me. I can relate to a lot of what he writes about. So look, that was on the bed because I'm reading this book right now. So maybe it was just meant to get thrown in there. I don't know. Anyway, that is a few of the many, 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 many books that I can recommend for you. I absolutely love books. I used to work in the library and I used to come out of the library with like 5 times this pile every week, like walking out. And I used to devour the books because I love educating myself and I love ideas and creativity and I love food for thought. And I hope you do too. And I know we're moving into a world where the joy of turning the page is, younger people maybe not so much, but I'll always prefer a book over a screen any day. To a point where I'm really, really making a big effort to reduce screen time as much as I can. So, I hope you enjoy these book reviews. They were short and sweet, but you have to read the book yourself really to make up your own mind and to come to your own conclusions about it. But many's a book I bought because I watched a review on YouTube, and I was delighted because, look, nobody wants to waste money. And I always feel if you get that little spark of, oh yeah, I want to read that book, you're onto a good thing. Anytime I've had that, I've always enjoyed the book. So I hope you maybe read some of them and enjoy them. And I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are. I keep looking in the wrong thing. I'm looking in the wrong place. You're right here. You're right here. I see you. I see you. I'm sorry. So take care, everybody. If you enjoyed this little review, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Take care. Namaste.